Alright, so since my earlier video, I've kind of changed my setup a little bit. I've added a load balancer to kind of like test certain tools that kind of like to test certain tools that increase the loads on web servers to see how they react. Um, yeah, so I've added in the load balancer. I've added in two WAF as well. Yeah, so the WAF basically acts as a filter for SQL injections against my web server. So I have two WAFs. Obviously, in real life, you would just have probably like just one WAF. Especially if it's up on the cloud, right? Just one WAF instance, but you can forward to multiple web servers. But just for sake of demo, so I did two WAFs, okay? And each WAF is forwarding to each web server accordingly. So WAF one is forwarding to injectable one. WAF two is forwarding to injectable two. So this is my setup. And let me just show you how the load balancer works. For those of you who have never seen this before, it's quite straightforward. Firewall has port forwarding to the load balancer. Okay, and this is the CAM load balancer. I'm using the free edition. You can see there's two servers which are up. And within CAMP itself, we create a new virtual surveys. And inside the virtual surveys, you scroll all the way down. There's this part where you define the real servers. So in this case, I'm forwarding to 183.a5 and 183.a6. And these two are basically the two WAFs which I'm forwarding to. All right. Um, yeah, because the WAF is acting as a filter, as a layer before the web server. So I forward to the WAF instead. And that's how it looks like. Okay, so let me just show you how it looks like when let's simulate a downtime, or rather let's simulate having one web server go down. So let's say, for example, okay, before we simulate that, we just want to make sure that we are able to access the page, the login page. So login page, I can log in as one of the users, and it is logged in successfully. All right. Um, yeah, so I'm going to suspend this virtual machine to simulate having this server go down. Okay, so the machine is suspended. I go back to my load balancer, and if I just refresh the page a few times, it takes some time to detect it, but after a while, it will show as having one web server down. Yep, so one is down. Okay, so it's only 50% of it that's up. However, to the outside world, to the users who are outside, they will still be able to access that login page because right now the load balancer will forward all requests to the second WAF or the second web server. I set it up to use round robin. Of course, there are different kind of algorithms for that can be used for load balancing, but the one I'm using is just a very basic, simple round robin kind of load balancing. So if this one is down, it just forward to the next one. Okay, pretty simple. Cool. So let me just try to access the site again. Let me just close it and reopen again. Okay, and the site is up. You can still log into it. Right, that's how it works. Pretty simple. And yeah, the first web server is still suspended. So everything is right now. Everything is going through the second web server or the second WAF in my case. If I go and look at the services, I can see that A5 is down. Okay, A5 is down, but A6 is still running. So it's forwarding all the requests to A6, which is the second WAF, and the second WAF is forwarding to my second web server. Okay, so this is how it works. In a real setup, obviously, in a real setup, there might not be two WAFs, it might be just one WAF, like I explained earlier. But one WAF you can forward to multiple web servers, or they could even use two WAFs and two load balancers in HA kind of configurations. On the back end, the web server itself, usually they separate out if it's a very major kind of portal or site that they're using, they separate out the database from the front end, the web front end. So you can have a web servers over there, and on the back end, you can actually can have something like a SQL cluster, or you can have two SQL servers that's doing SQL replication, like master to master, master slave kind of replication to each other to synchronize the database. So yeah, so basically the load balancer is to balance the load between two different servers. So even if one is down, you just pass on the load to the next one. So it does, yeah, load balancers do provide some level of a high availability, However, they don't load balancers don't really like I got some friends who were very confused because they were saying like how come some of these modern day commercial kind of load balancers, why is it they do have a WAF function, you know? So yeah, they actually do see, but like what I feel is that, having I can just show it to you real quick over here. I do have a WAF function within the load balancer itself, within my virtual services. Okay, but as you can see that the WAF that's included within the load balancer itself is pretty basic kind of WAF. It uses community rules and stuff like that. We can't really do very uh, we can't really do very advanced kind of settings for the WAF as compared to a dedicated WAF. Like in Perva, you can do things like custom rules and stuff like that. There's even like learning mode as well. You can put it in, keep it there for a week, and let it learn before you actually enforce the policy. So it's very amazing. But yeah, but WAF features within the load balancer is quite basic. So it's not really meant as a security tool. But that's basically how load balancers work. Okay, if we bring this web server back online, it would recover after some time. Okay, so right now it's still down, but if we give it some time and refresh the page for a few more times, yep, and it's up. Okay, so right now instead of forwarding it to WAF 2, it's going back to WAF 1. Okay, round robin, so it goes back to WAF 1. There's actually a setting weightage as well within the load balancer. I could set between the two servers. I could give heavier weightage to WAF 1 and a lighter weightage to WAF 2 and things like that. So when WAF 1 comes back online, they will still forward to WAF 1, things like that. So yeah, that's also possible as well. So, yeah, so that's basically how a load balancer works. And yeah, thank you for watching.